If you decide to craft a system in which people do not love one another, you are bound to fail. I'm sorry to say, but this world is changing rapidly, my friend. And you should adapt. Aliens are now a thing. I guess they've always been. And I wonder now, knowing about them, what they think of our psychology, whether or not they are on the same pursuit that human beings are on, the meaning of life, whether or not our experiences matter or our impact is actually measurable in any capacity. I came to a very sad conclusion today that the things that I want to invest in are going to require me to become a little bit more evil than I expected. There is something strange happening in our society that's been happening for a long time, where we believe somehow progress and compassion are not related. How can that be? How can that be that society, the very fabric, the things that we stand on and rely on, should not be derived from a love of other humans, let alone a love for nature? How can it be that the way that we succeed is through selfishness and individual prowess? How can it be that one can flourish in this life without one exploring their soul? I can't see it. I cannot see it. This book, Ishmael, that I'm reading has sparked something inside of me that makes me believe that what we've been doing for the last 10,000 years, which is basically victimizing ourselves and utilizing the environment around us to do whatever the hell we want, is wrong. We just went about doing things wrong. And now we're at a stage in our lives where we have to justify all of the wrong that we've done for the last 10,000 years. And most people run away from it because it's the easier thing to do. It's the easier thing to do to run away from an imminent crisis at your door. This planet may well not survive because of us humans. It's a hard message to swallow, but it starts in our neighborhoods. It starts in our communities. It starts with the very leaders that get us excited about change. Why are they doing the things that they're doing? Think to this. Think on this. All the time. When you are following someone, what is their why? Why do they decide to go into leadership? Why do they decide to go and implement the things that they believe society should have? Is it power? Or is it love for other human beings and potentially their environment and neighborhood? I say it's pretty easy to find out, to be honest. And though it might seem that some leaders are both, we tend to lean towards one side because at some point you need to pick a side. You need to pick a side that resonates with your soul and your ideals, the things that you were raised with. And the side that I'm picking is one of compassion. Because I have to. I have to make up for all the stuff that a lot of people have been doing for a long time. Potentially you, potentially me. The selfishness, the growth, the prowess, the lack of love for the very trees that give us air and oxygen, the animals that give us food. This cannot last. We're already overcrowded as a species. And we already find a lack of self-worth and a lack of fun and excitement in our lives when we do this for long enough. Why is it? We don't have a connection to the very roots that gave birth to us. The evolution that makes species stronger is something that we have avoided to take part in for 10,000 years. Ever since our agricultural revolution in Sumeria, where we decided that, hey, this world is mine. Whose world is this? It's yours. And if it's your world, you get to do whatever the hell you want. You get to tell things what's right and wrong. You get to say what's good and evil. You get to see what exists based on your actions. If you don't want a spider in your house, you fucking kill it. Fine. Space, fine. But it's naive. It's naive because so many organisms, millions, potentially trillions of organisms, have not functioned that way. And the reason they haven't functioned that way is because it's not the efficient way to go about it. Darwin, the theory of evolution, survival of the fittest. To many of us, that means the person or organism that is doing the best, meaning their individual prowess is the most powerful and impactful, are the ones that survive. Another way of interpreting this, the true way that Darwin interpreted it, is the social aspect of these organisms. Whether or not they were social and deeply entrenched in their environment determined whether or not they were successful and they would survive. Because 2 is better than 1, and it takes a village to raise a child. We have to rely on the very things, these things, that keep us breathing, you see? Because without them, the world is not so pretty. I'm sure some of you have seen these movies, Martian, where they go into this planet and they try to make it like Earth. The reality is, look up, look out your window, breathe in the air. I don't care if you live in a city. It's not so bad. In fact, it's beautiful. And whether or not we realize that is really going to make the difference between us being selfishly powerful or us being divinely powerful, spiritually powerful, soulfully powerful. So that's a decision we have to make, each of us. And this video is here to convince you to potentially step on the side of what Ishmael, the book, calls the leavers. The takers are the ones that we've been following, the ones that crafted mother culture, apparently. The ones that made us believe that this world is ours and we can do whatever the hell we want with it, and there's hardly any consequences. Just work, acquire your goods, call it a day. The leavers said, hey, let's restrict ourselves. Let's restrict ourselves to being just what we need to be, to make our environment flourish, to work for other people. Why am I harping so much on this? Because I see this very mentality in the way that individual leaders lead organizations all the time. And it shows, it trickles down. It affects the people that are working for these leaders. And so much of the time, it's so short-sighted. If you're losing the very people that make others feel great because they're not putting up with your system, if you are losing the people that have new ideas that can make your system more efficient, or the people that work so hard that they mask the lack of work from others, your system is not efficient. Your system is not efficient. And at the end of the day, it's not sustainable. That is my genuine belief. I intend to make systems that are sustainable. I intend to pave the path that was rough for me so that the people behind me have a little bit easier time. And they think, hey, if the people ahead of me made my life easier, maybe I can make the life of the people behind me a little bit easier. That's how we need to start thinking as a society, in my belief. Hard to do because we've been taught otherwise. But hey, be the change you want to see in the world. And check this video out. Here, I talk a lot about how society has turned out. A different nuanced approach to it. But hey, I'll see you over there. And remember, Love the community that's greater than human beings. And actualize your potential. Every day, baby. It counts. Take care.